Hello and welcome to the Straight to the Source podcast. I'm Tawnya Bahr.
And I'm Lucy Allen, and we're looking forward to taking you straight to the source of the people driving our food and hospitality industry forward.
Today we're going wild and talking game meat with professional shooter Rob Gallina and also hunter and founder of Bush River Kitchen, Chef John Ralley. There's some big news in this episode about Australia's first mobile game meat processing model, delivering ethical game meat in Australia that is fully traceable and harvested at the source. You're not going to want to miss this episode. Have a listen. Well, welcome, Rob. Welcome, John.
Thanks for having us.
It's
Thank
great
you.
to have you guys here. Now, when Australians think about game meat, in your opinion, what's the first thing that comes to mind? And maybe I'll throw to you first, John.
Game meat, I guess, well, it's always in, I guess, fine dining restaurants. It's always been European-based, English-based. I guess when you travel overseas, it's always on their menus. But Australia, I guess it's still a bit behind, and game, everyone knows it, but it's like, it's only really the real small percentage that's using it.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Rob? What have you...
From my experience, I would have to say I agree 100% with John on this. I would say it's a lack of product to the industry and education.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's grown up in Australia with the idea of just beef, lamb, pork, chicken. To me, it's been a staple diet coming from a European background. So where John says about, it being a staple diet in Europe, 100%. It is widely used overseas, not in Australia. Australia, it's in some places frowned upon.
Well, let's talk about your background. So, John, you have a vast culinary background. You're a qualified chef, and you've been cooking for many years. Did you grow up being, in the
always
bush?
Camping, and that was one thing. We would always go on a holiday. My mum would take us camping or something, and it was always on the coast. Or fishing, spearfishing was more kind of my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hunting came a bit later on, but hunting was kind of always in the background a little bit. I'd do it once a year on a boys' trip, like when we were 15, 16. And then, we'd do it once a year kind of thing, or twice a year. So it wasn't that full on into hunting, but it was spearfishing was kind of the main thing. And then I moved to England. So I went to work over in restaurants and patisseries and hotels and whatever.
And at that time, did you have the opportunity to go out in the bush and go hunting there?
Not much, no. But I did go after London and everything else. I kind of went down to Cornwall, which got me back into that kind of country feel and kind of, ocean and wanting to get back to Australia.
And how old were you when you came back to Australia?
I left when I was 21. I think I got back just before I was 28, close to 30, 29 maybe.
And did you go straight back into restaurants, or is this when you started your own?
So I actually started in patisseries.
Mm-hmm.
So I left Australia getting patisserie jobs and then got into restaurants in London.
Mm-hmm.
And then, kind of got the feel of restaurants much better. I kind of love the whole thing. Seasonality, just the choice of, bakery is always kind of the same in a way in Australia, as most people would know. So seeing restaurants, every time, every couple of weeks the menu would change, if not sometimes daily. To see that and actually understand it all, which was a bit of an eye-opener for me and made me kind of just fall down that kind of road.
And Rob, you're a professional harvester, and can you tell us how that came to be? Because what were you doing before you started harvesting and hunting?
Well, I was a builder. I've always had the hunting and gathering side of things in the family. It's been in the bloodline for generations, I guess. Coming from a European background, when Dad came to Australia, that's what they did. That's what they did to put food on the table, because coming as a European immigrant, obviously, they never had a hell of a lot of money.
Mm.
So, like, Dad would go out and he'd go, like, pig shooting or goats and bring all that sort of stuff home. But it was almost forbidden to try kangaroo or anything else, because it was something that was never recognised, and you don't eat that because that's not what we eat. I guess, growing up with our mates and everything else, there was a lot of, for me, wanting to explore, because we do come from a culinary background. Like, mum's an incredible cook. And, from that European background, like cooking a lot of game meats, I started experimenting with kangaroo, and I started experimenting with wallaby, and like all the stuff that like everyone just sits there and frowns upon, and like wild pig and goat, and it's incredible food. So for me, it was more, I had a construction business, but wanted to always help farmers. So I started up a feral animal control business. That feral animal control business grew, and it's where I wanted to go. I always wanted to go back into that. I wanted to go into that. I wanted to get out of the building. Building was a bit hard, and with drought and everything, so it was actually quite hard back in the days. So the feral animal industry, like for me, for the contracting side of things, was great. It's what I did. It's what I was good at. Very humanely done. Like I was very, very like explicit on that when I was growing up.
Is the official title contract shooter?
Correct. So back then I was 100% contract shooter, and I got into the harvesting after that for like companies like Macro and GMP and Call Off, and but there was more. I still needed to do more because it wasn't enough. Because like kangaroo numbers during the drought were huge. They were exponential. And you're seeing animals struggle. And they were withering away. A lot of people think it's cruel or whatever, but probably the proper thing to do is to put an animal down. When the numbers are huge and there is no feed, you're better off doing that, thin the numbers down to a manageable number that can actually survive through a drought and be healthy than seeing all these animals just wither away to nothing. But following that, you get population explosions. Drought breaks, plenty of feed, pasture improvement, more water points that farmers put in to fix up their agricultural side of things. We've created more of a food source. So in my mind, I went to government multiple times to ask for, like, gave them projects and everything to help with feral animal control and everything else. And there was no money in the budgets back then, apparently. So I decided, how can I do something to help? Farmers are already spread thin. They're time poor. They don't have the money behind them. What can I do to help them, get a service where we can look after the animals, but rather than just shoot the animals and leave them on the ground to rot away, what can I do to actually turn this into a resource and give them a free service, which is what we've now done.
Well, it's interesting because you talk about farmers and their advancements. And so there is more feed, there is more land, there's more water for game animals to be flourishing and multiplying at a rapid rate. But John, do you think that there's a disconnect from a chef's point of view about, game meat in general, and how do you think it's underutilized across
Definitely
restaurants?
underutilized. As I said, I guess everyone's just used to prime cuts, certain animal, and chefs these days, that's their thing. That's what they do, and they don't want to.
It's all portioned out.
Exactly.
Order
Nobody
it
butchers
in.
whole animals anymore. A lot of people don't even know where it comes from, or how it's cut, how it's processed. So, yeah, I think for me, as a chef, butchering animals myself was the way I figured out. Like I didn't learn it from anyone. I just kind of watched a couple of videos here and there and be like, I'll just figure it out myself. So
it really is a food story, and I've heard you say that, Rob, that it's not a hunting story; it's a food story.
Yeah, it is.
But if there is this disconnect between, from consumers, we talk about wild rabbit, and it's very difficult to get right now. And when you can source it, it's very expensive.
Well, and this country's filled it with poisons. So, that
Yes.
doesn't help the things, and viruses and all that sort of stuff. So we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot as well with a lot of stuff. And we keep doing it.
Does that frustrate you, John?
It does piss me off a lot.
Yeah.
This government, let's not get started. But hey,
politics is not what we're here for today.
No, but even the aerial culling,
I can get into that one too.
The aerial culling and everything else. Like we should have more people like Rob actually, utilising it. Like not fucking sending up helicopters to shoot them and leave them on the ground to make bigger problems for other feral species.
Correct.
And then 100%. We're throwing baits down, poison baits from helicopters as well to kill more animals, and they think it's only targeted for this one animal. We're wiping out, native animals. We're wiping out a lot of other animals, not just what they're after, what they say.
100%.
And it's like from a chef's perspective, there are a lot of obstacles. It's supply, it's, understanding the technique, knowing what, how it all, the process.
I think that all comes down, Tawnya, to lack of education through the industry itself.
Yeah.
The fact that there isn't enough supply. You'd agree with that, John,
It's
wouldn't you?
very
And
inconsistent.
it is a very inconsistent supply because let's face it, a lot of the stuff that is being produced is going overseas because that's where the demand is.
Doesn't that blow your mind to think
That's
that
ridiculous.
that's where the demand is when here within our own country, if we could educate and actually consider the protein source and solve a problem at the same time.
It's a sustainable resource.
Yeah.
It is one of the most sustainable resources we have in Australia.
Yeah. As I said, the Aboriginals always done it with the kangaroo and everything else, but we're all fucking European background.
Yeah.
They highlight it over there like nothing else. Like we go back, me and my partner go back every year. She's from France. And to see the butchers over there, like it's crazy.
They've got horse, they've got camels, they've got wild boar, goat, like all of that stuff. It's stuff that we, like the public here in Australia, cringe upon. Would sit there and go, oh, no, you can't do that.
And all their butchers over there present it really nice with their heads still on.
It's beautiful.
Plucked perfectly. It's so beautiful to see. Go back to a butcher over there, and then you come back to Australia, everything's packaged, it's just in a bit of plastic with it. It's horrible.
But the perception of it being a wild animal or an invasive species or a pest.
Well, we've classified that, what was that, 10 years ago, I think, that came in? Invasive species. The deer got on that list.
Yeah. Deer were put on that list before they were a sporting animal.
They were a game animal.
Yeah, game animal.
So
game meat. Hence the name game meat, I guess.
Yeah.
So, there you go. So do you think it's a marketing issue?
I think it is.
I think a lot of people, it's fear. It's like it's a lot of it, and I've seen it, especially through the DPI, and you'll probably hear the same. Like they'll be like, "Don't eat that. You can't do that.
It could hurt. It could be full of diseases."
Yeah.
Well,
so everyone's like freaks out. Be like, "You can't eat that. It's going to kill us."
Yeah. Look, the fact that people out there, and this is probably one of the biggest things. Okay. And I've worked for, and I openly say it, I've worked for local land services and all those sort of companies, government agencies. The idea of animals being full of disease, okay, it is a real threat. It is, but Australia hasn't ever seen foot and mouth, hasn't ever seen blue tongue, hasn't seen any of those diseases because of the strict biosecurity rules that we have that come from overseas. Any livestock that comes in is fully checked in quarantine. So none of our animals can actually or have ever gotten that. There's never been any sort of record, period, unless the government's hiding it. So there is no major threat to livestock in that realm, if that makes sense. So to me, to turn around and say, "Oh, it's a feral animal," it's people look at it and go, "Oh, it's disgusting." They look at a wild boar and just go, "Oh, it's yuck. It's full of mud and it's got big teeth and it looks disgusting." Your domestic pigs actually roll in their cages full of feces.
What are your top 5 game meats right now in Australia?
I'll let you go first. So
top 5.
Top 5.
Probably be deer number 1. Like people are starting to see it a lot more. Goats have always been quite big, like, multicultural. A lot of other countries that goat, like, love goat, worship goat.
Yeah.
Deer's another one for the Europeans and all that. But rabbit, wild boar. But again, those wild boar kind of traits have always been found upon. Like, I think the Muslim communities don't eat them. There's a lot of people that don't eat pork for that reason because they roll in their own shit and so on. But when they're farmed, it's kind of like a safe, kind of clean environment. Where I'd rather eat them from the wild. So, yeah.
And kangaroo?
Well, kangaroo, yeah. I think Australians have always known kangaroo more than actual game meat itself.
Yeah.
Because the Aboriginal background, like, kangaroo's always been on their menu. Where the other ones, the goanna and all that sort of stuff we don't eat. But, well, maybe sometimes.
Yeah, it's big fish.
Yeah, I've maybe tried it a couple of times.
Yeah, well, what about from an invasive point of view? What do you think, Rob?
Look, for me, from my experience, from what I've done with my cooking experiences and everything, I'd have to say deer is my number one. It has to be my number one because there's so many different varieties, there's so many different textures and flavours and everything that come out of a red deer, a chital, a fallow or a sambar or anything that you're going for.
6 species I think we have, yeah?
Yeah, we got 6 species in Australia.
What are they?
Sorry?
What are they?
So we've got, my favourite would have to be red. fallow, chital, sambar, rusa, and hog. We got hog deer? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, hog deer. Yeah,
And they're all running wild, or some
yeah,
are
they're
farmed?
all wild. No, some are farmed.
They were all farmed in the day.
Once upon a time, they were all farmed.
So remember, it was quite a few years ago. We did that Wild for Game
Yeah.
butchery workshop and we
Yep.
took a bunch of chefs out to that farm, not
Yep.
far from here.
That was
And-
out at the Oaks,
Yes,
out
yes,
at Far East. Yep.
yep. And we
Yep.
broke down a deer.
Yeah, we did a full breakdown and we cooked that right up. It was
And-
incredible.
And what you were just saying about education, the chefs had never seen that before.
Mm.
Breaking it down, understanding the different cuts, cooking methods. We even had Marty Bowitz with us on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, I've got a lot of chef mates, like so many hit me up, like take me out.
Mm.
So they all want to kind of, people want to see it, but it's only so many people. I've taken quite a few people out. I always do. I always like to take other chefs out. If they're willing to cook at camp, that's all good.
It's better when they cook. It's better when they cook.
So that's how I do it, mine and my other mate. So, you can come along, but you're cooking dinner for us.
Absolutely.
We'll just sit back and drink.
Yeah, we'll enjoy the spoils after we get it for you.
Yeah.
John, tell us about Bush River Kitchen. Paint us a picture of what it looks like.
So Bush River Kitchen is just something I've always I've done it for myself. I don't care about anyone else and what they think. I didn't build it for anyone else. I built it for myself, and then it kind of just took off from there. So again, people can come experience what I experience every day in my life, and I can cook. And it's just a small little venue, 10 people, maybe 20 max. But I
He's
try
been
to
very modest. It's incredible food.
harvest everything myself.
Yep.
If not fish it, forage it, or get local organic farmers and keep it as local as possible. I've got a couple of local prawn trawler and so on. So yeah, if I
Are
can't
you
get it-
loving it?
Oh, that's horrible.
Thanks for
I
coming
wish
in.
people would stop coming visit me so I
If
have more time to go hunting.
If it's that good, yeah.
So at the moment, I've struggled to find time to go hunting. So yeah, it's going good.
So what are you finding at the moment in terms of hunting? What are you hunting now? Because it's not seasonal, isn't it? It's year round.
Well, we've
Yeah.
cleared
Game.
that. We used to have seasons,
Yeah.
as it's until they got classified as a invasive species and a feral pest. So yeah, we can hunt all year round in Australia. That's the good thing about this country for us. Like it's fucking great. Like I can hunt. I don't care hunting in 40 degrees. I just have to look after the meat better and be a bit more, mindful that, it's going to go off quick. So you just got to look after it a lot better.
So in terms of preservation, what are the methods you're using?
For me, I just butcher on the spot straight away and get it straight to a cold
Cold esky.
as soon as possible. Yeah.
So are you freezing or stocking up? Or anything
I'll
like
usually,
that?
when I get home, I'll age it for a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
Venison, I always age for about 2 weeks. Or anything I'm going to cut like a steak off or anything, I'll always age it for a couple of weeks. And then I'll freeze it and so on from there.
So after you're butchering the deer, are you doing full nose to tail, or what are you doing with
If I can actually bring a whole animal back, if it's in a position, I will. If not, I'll cut it on the ground. I'll
And-
take
All your primals.
back
Yeah.
legs, back straps, shoulders, if they're not too blown out.
And what's the first cut that you'll cook?
Well, again, it depends if I'm going to mince it or shanks and that, you're going to slow cook it anyway. So it's one of those things. A backstrap's going to age at least minimum 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Same with the back legs. Because I'll cut mostly steaks out of them.
Wait that long? Oh, dude, come on!
I've
I
always got
tenderloins out and eat those things straight away.
I have, but yeah, it's another one. I've done all that, and I've even had backstraps fresh, and I'm like,
Oh, it's
that was
beautiful.
much better than I thought.
Yeah.
I'll still go back to the 2 weeks. Kind
Yeah,
of thing. It's just
So Rob, you're known for cooking in the bush. What's your favorite cut, and how do you go about it?
I'm not as don't think I'm saying it the wrong way. I'm not as dainty as John.
Refined.
Yeah.
Maybe refined is the word. Refined.
Refined. No, for me, ideally straight away, like me and the wife when we go out and we're going out in the bush and it's a camp out, it's straight away tenderloins. The minute we shoot, whether it's a kangaroo or whether it's a pig or a goat or a deer, it doesn't matter what it is. Tenderloins are the first thing. Reason it's called a tenderloin. It's the only muscle in the body that never gets used. Like your eye fillet, your beef eye fillet.
Mhm.
So it's always tender, no matter what. Aging does
hence
make
the
give it.
tenderloin name. No?
It's a tenderloin name. But yeah, no, it is probably the premium cut. It's the one that I go with. And I love liver. A lot of people actually don't understand that the offal is so good for you. It's probably one of the most nourishing things you can eat.
Mhm.
So, cooking up the heart or a liver, like straight away, is incredible. We had a bunch of farmers and like they came out to this big barbecue that we had, and I literally did a lamb stripe, but with venison. So I did the heart, the liver, the lung with a little bit of bay leaf and onion and red wine, poured red wine all over, and they're all just looking at it going, "Oh my God, that smells delicious." Didn't tell them what they were eating. Bit of nice crusty bread cooked over the fire, and as soon as I told them what it was, they all just looked at each other as if to go, and the wives were all like, after that, but they were all eating it. And they went back for seconds and thirds.
Well, often people, when they think of culling, it makes them feel uncomfortable. So explain exactly what that is and how you go about it.
Look,
and how do you know how many? How do you actually mark that, and gauge that, and benchmark it?
As in, like quantities of animals and all that. Look, there is an abundance. Australia has the highest number of feral animals. Like camels, we have the biggest number of camels in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Donkey, same thing. I think if we did a count on all the feral species that we have here, the States would probably be second behind us, as in with, oh no, actually they'd probably be ahead with pigs. We'd be second. But we have a number that doesn't matter what actions that we put into place. It doesn't matter about hunting pressure. Hunters will only take a certain amount of feral animals out. Okay, let's face it. It is something that is a recreational sport. It's not a profession. As a contractor, we go out there to cull. And when we're culling mass numbers.
But it's responsible harvesting, really.
Oh, 100%.
It's better than culling from helicopters where nothing gets retrieved.
Yeah. Everything gets, look, let's face it. Anything that is just culled and left on the ground is probably one of the most damaging things that we're doing.
It's called our government.
Yeah.
That's about that.
It's yeah, we can blame the government for that one. But all we're doing is feeding a pest that we're already trying to get rid of.
Yeah, we're making a bigger problem.
We are creating a bigger problem than what we already have. So for me, the fact of harvesting these animals now, turning them into a resource, whether it's human consumption or pet food or fertilizer, it doesn't matter what it is. For me, primarily, I would love to see people eat feral animals. Sorry, let me rephrase that.
Wild
meat animals, wild game animals. All right.
Now, there's some big news happening right now, and that is a mobile processing facility. And what you're talking about is exactly what needs to happen, because that gives accountability, traceability, and elevates it to creating an opportunity for more game meat to get out in the market and be healthy and a good protein source. Is that right?
Well, lucky for you, I know the guy who's actually started all this.
Oh, do tell.
Yes. I do have his shirt on with his name and a hat.
Didn't bring me one.
I'll get you one, don't worry. So, yeah, we created Australian Bush Harvest. It is the first mobile processing facility for game meat in Australia. This will create an influx of like beautiful, high premium quality game meat into the actual local market.
Now, we have a lot of chefs and a lot of butchers that listen to this podcast. So can you explain how you're going to go about it and what that means to them?
Okay, so for all the restaurateurs, chefs, butchers, like wholesalers, anybody out there, we are going to provide you with a fresh premium product from the field to packaging within a 72-hour period. So it's going to be the freshest on the market. It will be a premium product. It will be available for distribution once we're online. Whether you want to go direct or whether you want to go through your wholesalers and everything, we do have a list of wholesalers that will be published on our website soon. We can guarantee you that it is going to be ethically and humanely harvested, which is probably one of the biggest things for me as a contractor and a business owner, mind you. But this is all for promoting and showing people that this is actual. It's not a pest. This is a proper resource. It is an incredible resource that has been used for hundreds of years overseas that we're trying to put onto the market here today and create a product that is ready for restaurateurs or chefs that will have produce ready to go all year round.
Why hasn't it happened earlier?
The export market, I would say. I would say the export market has a high demand, like
Well,
you were saying, John.
Growing
Overseas
up,
in
I
Europe.
think that's all we'd always be, told. Everything gets shot here. You go to Europe, you're eating. It's probably coming from Australia, half the stuff.
Yeah.
Wild boar, but we'd be told not to eat it here, and everything would be exported.
Yeah.
So it's been huge, the export.
It goes to Europe immediately.
So getting approval for this mobile processing plant, what barriers have you had to overcome? Have there been many?
We had to knock down the Great Wall of China, basically.
Yeah.
Look, it's something that's never been done, ever, in Australia. Aside from Provenir, and I'll use their name quite openly. Provenir did it for livestock, which is fantastic, and hats off to them. They're a great company, and I'm hoping they're doing well. As in for game meat, it has been very hard with the biosecurity side of things. I've got to say, I've been fortunate enough to be dealing with some incredible people in DPI, in the licensing, and with DAF, the Department of Ag and Fisheries and Forestry. They have worked together with us to actually get this going. The hardest thing is local government, local council, trying to get approvals because they don't know where this fits in their system. It's not a static facility. It's not a mobile restaurant or a vending machine. It's something just completely left field that no one's ever done. So we've had a few hurdles, but we're at end game now. So
it's a real
good.
Game changer.
It is.
It really is.
It is.
Do you think, John, that with this happening and moving forward, that the home cooks will perhaps be introduced to more species and more proteins, and it could become almost a weekly shop?
Yeah, I think so, and I think everyone's looking for that healthy option. I always say, venison's no fat, 99%, fat free. You can look at it like that way, but it's a healthy option. It's not as much fat. It's game meat. It's just good for you. So I think people actually are starting. There has been a few small businesses trying to do it and take it off the ground. But
starting to turn. It is
starting to turn here. So and people are promoting it more, and they see the health side of it too. They haven't been jabbed full of chemicals and so on, and kept in small pens. These are free range.
They are basically organic.
Yeah,
they are
wild animals.
But by having this processing facility and having the ability to check the heart, check the liver, look for disease, look in the eyes, I mean, at that point, that's the checkpoint, isn't it?
So we've got a few stages. We've got a few stages in the way we're harvesting. So our harvesters are actually fully accredited. So they're actually taught about checking the animals for disease before they even put them on their trucks to bring them back to the facilities. Then so the traceability starts from the field. So we actually know the time of when the animals are actually shot in the field, how long it takes them to get it back into the facility, the sex of the animal, the specific breed. So when we're talking about deer, we've got the 6 species of deer. So we know exactly what is coming in. Then it sits in there to chill down to a certain temperature. And we have an actual company, the meat inspectors. They are a fully qualified for domestic and export market meat inspector. So they check the offal, they check the internal core temperatures, they check the animal after it's been skinned to make sure that it has no imperfections, it doesn't have cysts, it doesn't have diseases, it doesn't have anything. You can tell an animal before you actually shoot it if it's sick. Okay? So if we do see that, we will shoot that animal because we don't want anything sick to spread any sort of disease, number one. But there are a lot of contingencies that we have in place to make sure that we have the best quality animals. Nothing comes in and everything. If anything looks like it's not right, it gets discarded immediately. Nothing goes through.
I've never checked anything in my entire life, and I'm still alive.
Well, look at me.
Can't be
Look
that
at
bad.
me.
This guy goes, how much effort?
Yeah, I go to major efforts.
Yeah, I go quite the opposite. I'm like, no, it looks good to me. And I'm still
Look,
here.
it's still walking. It's breathing.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo, yes,
What do you mean you didn't get sick by eating that animal? I'm like, didn't even bother checking the liver. Sometimes I will if I want to take it.
Oh, yeah.
That's about the only time I check it.
But we run educational programs, like through SSAA at the moment this weekend, actually. We have a deer processing demonstration that we do.
Is that the one down Wollongong?
No, that's in Silverdale.
Okay, yeah.
Silverdale this weekend. And every month for the next couple of months we're doing that. But it's educating people on, firstly, the quality of the meat. 2, it's like from the field, like what you do from the kill, because a lot of people actually don't know. A lot of hunters don't know. A lot of people have never shot a deer. Like there are guys that have been out shooting for 30 years that have never really got that, that deer in front of them. And it's like, oh my God, I've actually got a deer. What do I do next?
They'll take the back straps, that's about it.
Pretty much. Yeah.
If they take that.
If they do that. if they haven't destroyed it from shooting it 50 times.
Then they'll make that back strap in a jerky.
Yeah,
and then
much.
just leave it.
and leave it. Or there are guys out there that'll just go out there for a trophy and don't know that the quality of meat is actually incredible. So what they're leaving on the ground is probably worth, 3 times more than what you're paying at the butcher shop for your prime meats. Like venison is like, okay, so wild deer becomes venison after it's shot and processed. But deer has got the same value, monetary value, as what Wagyu does. Like you try buy a venison backstrap at, let's go to, what's it called? The real fancy butcher? Vic's. Yeah, go Victor Churchill's, is it? Yeah. Go there. It's like $130 for a backstrap per kilo.
It's crazy.
Tenderloins are
with no marbling.
With no marbling. Yeah, no fat whatsoever.
So what is the difference between the farm deer and the wild deer in terms of flavor? And
flavor is huge. Flavor's a huge difference. It is. Farmed like deer is like it's got the grass fed, but it also gets grain. But it also isn't mobile. So you do have that little bit more fat, more marbling in the meat. There's not a lot because obviously it is a lean animal. Whereas the wild deer that we get is like it forages, it moves, it's active, it's got a finer texture to the meat. It's richer. I think it's richer, right, John?
I don't remember the last time I ate farmed deer.
Yeah, nor do I. I think the last time I did was when we were farring.
When we did our master class together.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see them side by side.
It'd be interesting, but from my experience looking at farm deer, like from when I've done cooking classes and all that sort of stuff and butchery, and having a look at what we do with wild venison, like it's completely different. Your textures are different. Like your farmed one is a little bit more coarser, whereas your wild venison is a lot finer.
So where do you see Australian Bush Kitchen? Is it going to be on the whole eastern seaboard, or are you going to stay in New South Wales, or what limitations do you have?
We don't have any limitations. So we want to expand. We want to get into like every state. This isn't just to supply the country with decent protein and an affordable protein, because by us putting in an influx of product, we'll actually regulate it and make it a better, cheaper product for people to buy and affordable. So at the end of the day, it's affordability for families.
Yeah.
As a reliable, constant protein source. But it's also about the environment. So for me, it's been a very massive thing for the environment side of things. So, kangaroos and wombats and everything else, they come out of the bush because they're going onto grazing lands because there's a massive amount of pressure from feral animals. So they're fighting for food. There's what a lot of people don't understand what we do and why we do it. So there's a huge imbalance at the moment. Australia never had an introduced species. Introduced species come in, they start eating the food source. Farmers are actually clearing land, pasture improving, creating more water points. This is where you're starting to get a big ratio and turnover. And I'm lucky enough to have grandkids, I want my grandkids to grow up knowing that they can go out into the bush and see a native animal. Like we've got a lot of extinct breeds. We're naming our facilities, each facility that we build, after an endangered or an extinct species. So the first facility is called Bandicoot. It's an Australian native animal that nobody ever sees. But
we're a part. Yeah, we're a lot to blame to ourselves too for all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we've extincted I don't know how many animals, but yeah, a lot of it's come from farming pressure as well. So
so farming pressure, agriculture. Yes, look, we need that no matter what. Everyone likes their soy latte, so someone has to grow soybean. You won't catch me drinking that, but oats and cereals and all that sort of stuff. We need land to do that, so there is no choice, obviously. But when it comes down to it, what we're doing is actually trying to help our native species. Although people will look at me and just go, "Oh, but you're killing kangaroos." There is no apex predator in Australia that can actually regulate numbers.
Dingoes. If we didn't poison kill all them.
If we didn't 1080 bait them, yes. Yep. So that's what we do. We thin them out, but we do that to government regulations, government numbers, government quotas. So when you look at the actual quotas for harvesting for kangaroos, there's only been, and I think I'm 99% sure, but on the national quota, we've only harvested 13% of the national quota of kangaroos.
Wow.
It's
In New
crazy
South
on, like, I go out to some of the properties I hunt on and kangaroos are fucking mental.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's huge. Like, they are actually huge. And, you know, I know it's a big upstir on some people. You can't shoot kangaroos. I'm like,
They're tasty.
yeah, they are delicious.
They're delish.
And my dingoes eat them as well.
Yeah.
So I always shoot a few because there is crazy amount of numbers out there.
Well, put it this way. We can go out, Tawnya, tomorrow night to a property that we shoot regularly, and we shoot every couple of weeks for these farmers. And I can guarantee you we will see the same, if not more, numbers of each species every time we go out.
So, Rob, what is the business model then? Like, are you, hiring shooters, and do they get superannuation? Is this like, what is the structure of the business?
Okay, so once upon a time when you were a contract harvester, you'd go out there, you shoot by the kilo. So guys would be targeting the biggest animals, all right, because obviously you want to try and make as much money as you can overnight time. The problem that we got is, especially with native animals, like when you're talking about kangaroos and wallaroos, is your main breeders are the more older animals, the bigger, the heavier their animals. They're your breeders. So what we've done, because as a harvester, I wasn't getting enough. I couldn't do this as a full-time job. I had to be building during the day and do this like 2 or 3 or 4 nights a week, as many times as I could. What we've done is now turned it into a full-time career. So there was never a career. There was never anything. I couldn't go for a mortgage being a contractor. So what we've done now is created a full-time position. Our shooters, our harvesters will be on a salary. They work 7 on, 7 off with all the conditions of a normal employee, which means that for them, they don't have to worry about going out and shooting the biggest animal, which is the breeders. And that's what I don't want. Especially when it comes to kangaroos. Like, I want my kangaroos to breed. They're my native animal. I'm an Australian at the end of the day. I love these animals. And as much as I do this as a profession, I do it passionately because I know exactly what I'm doing.
And responsibly.
It's got to be done responsibly.
And if we wipe everything out, you won't have a job left. So
correct.
We've got to keep a good balance of everything.
We do. So I need to keep these things breeding no matter what. But when it comes to all the other species, no, it's free reign.
So we talk about exports. So do you find that that will increase substantially, perhaps over the next 5 years?
For us, it will.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. At the end of the day, Australia is a very young country. Okay, we're not as old and generational as in Europe. Okay, there's a lot of education that's got to come into it. A lot of advertising. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get it out there. Like my wife does our media and our sales. So Jackie's putting like menus out there and she's showcasing people like this is what you can do and on our websites and everything. But guys like John and myself, like throughout what I used to do with my other stuff, like for Game On and for Australian Feral Animal Control, like we educated people. Like we're trying to do the best that we can to show people how much of an incredible resource this is. And it should be a part of your staple diet.
We shouldn't be wasting it.
No.
There should be more people who actually, I guess, have jobs like that instead of spending all the money we do on helicopters and, controlling feral animals in other ways.
Yeah.
Actually employing people as a full-time job.
Yeah.
Instead of spending all our taxpayers' dollars on helicopters, baits and poisons and
providing wild game, having it accessible,
correct,
available across the country,
correct.
And then after that, exporting to create more revenue,
open more places for hunters too. So it's another one. As well. Stop locking everything up and putting gates in front of everything and saying you're not allowed to go there. And before you know, it's a massive hazard.
Is that what you're experiencing, John?
Well, they're starting to lock up everything. Well, every state's different, so it's weird. Queensland, they've got no state forests to hunt in. New South Wales, we're allowed to hunt in state forests, but we've got to, get all the licenses and everything, which is fine.
Fair enough.
Which is great. Victoria, you can just, get a license over the internet and go walk in the bush the next day, which is great as well, which I love that. But, they've got national parks we're allowed to hunt in Victoria. New South Wales, national parks are out. Queensland, national parks will be out as well. It's every state's different, but it's like just open up more land for people to
I think it's just the way it's been managed by government.
Which hasn't been managed well at all.
No, absolutely not. But you look at New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand is a classic example of this. We were discussing this a little bit earlier.
How good is New Zealand?
Their guys can go over, they can go up in the mountains, they can go and shoot, they can bring back a wild pig, a goat, or a deer, and they bring it to their local butcher. Their local butcher will process it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Australia, you can't do that because of all the biosecurity regulations.
Yeah.
So I think
But that's not for commercial use. That's for personal consumption.
But imagine how many hunters would actually bring back meat out of bushes if they knew a butcher was going to take care of all the meat for them.
Yeah.
Like, it would be amazing. Like, New Zealand's done it well, and they've even set up little huts for them in the mountains where you can go stay, you sign in, you do your little trek, and, the Kiwis bring the meat back out.
Yeah.
Like, just to take back to their butcher and be like,
but it's a staple diet for them now, and families don't frown upon it, and everybody does it because you know what? They still buy meat from their butchers. They still go get their lamb. They still go get the beef, pork, and chicken. It's a staple diet still, but they top that up because look, let's face it, with the way the economy's going at the moment, people need something that is a sustainable resource for them to actually, let's say, buy or bring home. Period. So I'm hoping that's where we can actually come in and actually have that market fluctuation, so people can afford to buy, venison rather than buy it at $130. You buy it from us for half the price.
I grew up in Oregon, and that's exactly, you get a day off from school to go hunting during deer season.
Well, America's huge on it as well because they're a native animal for them as well. So they're actually prized. They've got to take out rib meat. They've got to take out, I think, everything apart from bones. Is that right? Like, they've got like rules and regulations where they're forced to bring it out. Where Australia's,
if you shoot it, you eat it.
We get a bit picky and choosy. Even I do sometimes. There's so many.
Yeah,
it's like, well, I can be, and I'll take as much as I can out, what I can carry out. If I can drive it out, I'll take the whole animal. But if I can't, I'll take out what I can carry in one run. I'm not doing two.
Not when you walked in 8 days, no way.
But very common for butchers to accept it, process it, and then you go on pickup day and you pick it all up,
and
it's all packaged up, and then you take it home and you put it in your freezer, and it keeps you going through the winter.
At the end of the day, when my children have grown up, all my kids have all learned how to hunt. And it's not culling, it's actual hunting. Because there's a difference between hunting, there's a difference between harvesting and culling. Okay? Mm-hmm. When you hunt...
Break it down for us, Rob. What's the difference?
Okay, so when you're a hunter, you're actually doing it to put food on your table. Okay? It's not about the trophy. It's not about having that big stag or the big wild boar with the huge tusks hanging up on your wall. That's a bonus. If you get that as a bonus. Mm-hmm. It's about supplying. It's that old hunter-gatherer. That's what we used to do in our primitive days. Mm-hmm. Okay? The men would go out, they'd get the animal, they'd bring it back. You don't see caveman drawings with people holding broccoli in their hands. It's meat. Yeah. Okay? Mm-hmm. So for me, educating my children, like my son, daughter, and our other sons and everything, and our grandkids now. Our grandkids, like my granddaughter got her first deer the other week. She's 13 years old. My grandson has now shot 2. They've learnt now that whatever we shoot, we use, we utilize it. It is a food source. It's not just going out there to do it for fun. So that's your hunter-gatherer. Your harvester is a person that provides. He'll go out there, shoot professionally, which is what we do. We shoot professionally and supply food. We supply that protein, a clean, fresh protein that is healthy for people to eat. And culling is a different story. Culling is when you have a mass amount of animals that need to be thinned out because there are no other measures of control, all right, to reduce those numbers on a fast, dramatic basis. But it still has to be done ethically. It has to be done humanely, all right? People look at me and just go, oh, yeah, you're full of it, you're saying it. No, it's not. It's exactly what you do, okay? I love animals, okay? Like, we want to buy a property, we want to actually grow deer for ourselves. I love animals, but at the end of the day, I look at it as a food source. We've got sheep and goats at home. They don't have names because I don't like to name anything that I'm going to eat.
I still name them.
You do?
Do you?
I'll let them.
Oh, chops, roast.
Potatoes.
Well, John, when you go out...
Call it a name.
No, you don't. You don't.
When you go out hunting and then you come back, I mean, it's also a physical activity. You're out in nature.
And it's easy when you're out there, I guess, to shoot an animal and all that sort of stuff. But it's, I guess, when you bring it all home and you realise how much work's ahead of you. So I always look at myself and I'm like, fuck, do I have to shoot that many?
What am I?
And then I hate myself. Right? I'm like, it's the efforts. Yeah. Hunting is the easy part for me. It's just when you get at home and you've got to take care of all that meat like properly, and you try to, you want to make it, as good as you can for it. You're feeding everyone, so you're like, you've got to just give it some love and give it the respect it deserves.
Can you give me a venison pie recipe?
Well, I've actually got one on this weekend's menu.
Ooh, can you share the recipe a little bit with us?
I braised down a whole bunch of shoulders and shanks and made a stock. So I kept all the bones. I always kept the bones. Are like the one thing I keep the most, I think. Like before the
hunt.
Get
that nice tallow and that nice.
I'll freeze it all until I've got 20 kilos, and I'll make a big, a stock, and then I'll reduce it down to a jus. So what you would use in restaurants for beef or anything else, I do the same with venison, and put it side by side with the beef one. It'd be as good, if not better. So.
And what aromatics, what vegetables do you?
I'll put the classic French style, Mirepoix kind of style. Your carrots, celery, onion, garlic, tomatoes, bay leaves, thyme, rosemary, and then just a really good stock or some red wine if you want some red wine. Reduce that down, then just a really good stock that's always made from the venison I do, and then I braise it all down. I'll separate the meat, reduce that down again, and then I'll put it all back in. And this week's one's got a whole bunch of foraged mushrooms. I went and foraged myself as well.
Oh, stop.
The non-gold, what are they called? The death caps.
Yum.
So that's why I've got the truffle in my car.
Oh, yes.
I've actually made some venison fat pastry. I've got this weekend. So I render all the fat down at the right time of year when the stags are kind of at their peak, I guess.
Pre-rut.
They are amazing condition. The best condition you'll get any animal. So pre-rut, when they're still in velvet, they're almost about to get into hard antler. I go out and everyone's like, why do you shoot in velvet? I'm like, I'm after the fat. I don't care about the head.
It is incredible.
If it's a good head at the end of the day, it's a bonus. But I go out looking for you get an inch of fat off some of the back of some of these things. And it's like, everyone's like, you can't eat the venison fat. It's another one of those stereotypes that
it's a myth.
People watch American shows and we all listen to the Americans. It's like, because they're eating ruddy stags because they got seasons. So they were only allowed to shoot them in the
during the rut. Yeah.
So they're not allowed to shoot them pre-rut. So they're eating animals that are breeding and pissing on themselves, and
and it tastes shit.
If you're eating a billy goat before, it'd be the same, similar horrible.
I don't know, mate. Well, I had a stinky billy goat that my Lebanese next door neighbour cooked, and it was freaking incredible.
But they're good at hiding the flavour, though, aren't they?
I think they used around about 20 kilos of star anise.
Doesn't matter. I think the Indians always better goat curry and all that sort of stuff as well. Again, always like a good billy, but I like it. I like my wild game, just wild game.
Yeah.
So I don't like it, tainted with hormones and all sorts of stuff when they.
Well,
start
John,
breeding.
you're very active on social media. And have you had any backlash? Because some of your posts...
I used to all the time back in the day when I had the bakery. When I started getting, I guess, known in the bakery, and people started following me because a couple of cake videos went viral and were like, you're a fucking murderer and all this sort of stuff. I'm like... Then I faded them people out and kept posting more dead animals, and it hasn't happened again. So it's weird.
Moved on.
It's weird how it all... People come in and start abusing you.
Isn't it?
Back in my days, I'd probably get there and start abusing back and so on. Now
you just don't care.
I just delete it. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Their loss, not mine. I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
They're fucking hating on everything.
Paint us a picture of what a day out at Bush River Kitchen is like. What time do you wake up?
Well, I still work in the city not the city, out west, 3 days a week, consulting back in a bakery. And just doing my functions on the side as a bit of a side gig. So it's not a full-time gig. It's just when I kind of want to choose and pick how I want. But at the moment, it's pretty busy. So, I usually, I guess, wake up when I've got a day off, or if I've got to do prep, or I'll go hunting. Then I'll come back, butcher everything, write up a menu, usually what I've got. I don't usually go try to find anything too far away. It's usually literally what's in season, what I can get locally from farms, and what I've harvested or foraged. So, and I'm still making a lot of, pastries and bread in my wood-fired kitchen. So I always start with, freshly baked bread out of the wood-fired oven as a starter and just move on from there.
Here's the reason why I don't watch social media anymore.
Makes you hungry?
Oh, every time I'm salivating. Every time I look at one of his posts, it's horrible.
So if people want to get in contact, they just hop onto Insta. I
Yeah,
suppose.
it's all on social
Yeah.
media. No website, no bullshit, no stars. No one can rate it. They can fuck off if they do. So, yeah, I dealt with that with the bakery. Where they can come give you a 1-star review. They got nothing to come back. They can abuse me on social media. Who cares?
You can mute them.
Yeah. Block.
What about you, Rob?
A day, you're saying? Like what my general day is? I think I'm up at like 3:30, 4 a.m. daily, getting into emails and stuff for the businesses. Like we still get orders for Game On Enterprise for our barbecue rubs and everything, and go through that and then get started straight into the processing facility. So, at the moment we are hiring staff. We're looking for butchers and we're looking for boners and packers and stuff like that.
So if there's people listening and they're interested in I know you've got a great website now. So
Okay. Well, if there's anybody listening and you want to be a butcher or a boner or a packer or anything in the business, just give us a call or send an email out to Australian Bush Harvest, and James or Jackie will get onto them straight away. It's a 7-on, 7-off roll. It's primo.
Sounds great. Can I get a job?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in.
There you go,
As long
John.
as you can cook me pastries every day.
Yeah.
Well, are you guys up for a little quick fire?
Go for it.
Yeah? And quick fire means quick. Don't overthink it.
Oh, stress. We need another beer for this.
Might regret this.
I'm going to start with you, Rob.
Go for it.
Most underrated game animal.
Rabbit.
Favorite barbecue cut.
Tenderloin.
Cast iron or smoker.
Cast iron.
Best camp breakfast.
Liver and eggs.
One ingredient every hunter should carry.
Salt.
It's good.
You ready, John?
I think so.
You're up, mate.
Coffee before sunrise or whiskey after sunset?
Both. Can't have one without the other. Sorry.
Favorite river to fish in?
Favorite river to fish in? I live on the Hawkesbury, so they'll go to the Hawkesbury River.
Okay. Most memorable meal that you've cooked outdoors?
It's a hard one. I don't know.
Was it with Rick Stein, maybe? Was that memorable?
I always cook wild game when I'm outdoors, and and like to share that experience. So I don't think I have one. I don't know.
That's
a blur.
Yeah.
Kangaroo filet mignon.
Oh, I've seen that. I have seen that. His little trademark dish.
My little trademark. Yeah.
What piece of gear you never camp without?
A knife.
What's always in your esky? I think I
Beers.
know the answer.
Beers.
Oh my gosh. Well, before we wrap up, actually I've got another question. Just metaphorically, what does, and this is for both of you, what does going straight to the source mean to you?
Literally straight to the source. What else do you want to say? It's getting straight to the product you want, without the bullshit, without the grade tape. The tape.
Yeah, well, to me, like going straight to the source means that you're going to get the freshest quality premium product that you could ever imagine in your life, really, when you think about it.
Straight to the farm. Don't go to the shops if you want. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I try to do these days. I don't like to go to the Coles or Woolies. I'll try to go, I'm pretty lucky where I'm at. Like, we've got a lot of small farms, organic farms, and I'm very lucky. So I'm going there these days. Fuck those corporations.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm 100%. I agree with John. Like, it's knowing the farmers. It's getting everything direct from producers.
If there's one thing you could say to our audience in closing, like a closing comment regarding game meat, what would it be?
Eat more wild game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so. To me, it's education.
Yeah.
Educate the guys that work for you. Educate if you don't know about it. And this is not. I'm not putting any chefs down, because chefs are incredible people, and I've been lucky enough to work alongside some of the best chefs in the country, along with overseas as well. Educate your staff, educate your customers.
Well, gentlemen, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in today. And I think we should do a little ... and maybe regroup in about, 2 years and see how far we've come.
Oh, geez, I'm salt and pepper now.
I'll
In 2
probably
years,
still
I'm
li-
going to be dust.
Okay, we can
I'll be
make it
living
12
in the bush
months.
probably by myself.
Thanks, John, so much. And thanks, Rob.
No, thank you
Thanks for
very
having
much
us.
for having us on. It's been fantastic. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks for listening in. We really hope you enjoyed the conversation.
We would be keen to hear from you if you have a story to share or a topic that we should dive into.
Drop us a line. We always love hearing from you.